are so excited that you're here today with us. Welcome to the Angels in Flight Benefit Tea Party and Silent Auction.
We've heard that there is no way through. We've heard the tide will never change. They haven't seen what you can do. There is power in your name. So much power in your name.
First and foremost, I would like to recognize the face behind the dream that made all of this possible. That is Miss Penny Foskey. We are so thankful for all the efforts and your tireless support of this program does not go unnoticed. So can we give her a round of applause? Also, I just wanted to take the time to say a special thank you to our volunteers, our Angels in Flight board members, our staff that has worked super hard. Miss Jane in the kitchen, Miss Deborah with the silent auction. I know I'm missing somebody, but let's give all of our staff a round of applause. So as I mentioned, I've been privileged to welcome you here today. So I just wanted to start off with a few housekeeping things. If you haven't been to the Methodist Church here before, the restrooms are to your right in this hallway. And so we just ask that you remain seated while there are speakers up and sharing their stories, and then we can move about in our downtime. We are going to have further instruction as far as what we're going to do with the tables after the blessing and the opening prayer. So with that being said, I'm going to ask Pastor Tony to come up and give us our opening prayer and blessing.
I just want to take a minute to say how grateful I am to be a part of Angels in Flight. I've learned a lot over the last few months, the things I never knew. And I'm very grateful for Miss Penny and her vision, and I get to watch it come to fruition. And today I'm going to just speak a blessing over all of us here, but also over Angels in Flight and Miss Penny. Let us pray. Father, today, what an awesome, incredible, beautiful day. Father, I thank you for allowing us to be a part of what is going on today. Father, it is awesome as me as a pastor, Father, to watch a vision come to pass. Father, the folks that are here today, they're here. They're in one mind and one accord for one purpose. And Father, that is to help further what is going on, Lord. Help further Angels in Flight, but also help further a vision that you gave someone to help further the kingdom. And Father, today I just thank you and I praise you, Lord. We speak blessings, so many blessings, Lord, that they cannot contain it. Lord, you said that we could drink from the saucer. I ask you from the cup, but I ask you to let it spill over so much that they get to sip from the saucer, Lord. And Father, we just speak blessings over Miss Penny. Continue to help her in her vision. And Lord, I know sometimes you tell us we don't dream big enough. And Lord, I just ask you that whatever vision you lay on her, I know that the provisions are already there. And Lord, I thank you and I praise you, Lord. Speak blessings over all the ladies and their lives and what they will continue to do, Lord, as they come through this process, Father. This is just a stopping ground, Lord, for where they are to learn more about you, to move on, Lord. And I just ask you to bless their lives so immensely, Lord. Now, Father, we just thank you and we praise you. We give you all the glory in Jesus' name. Amen.
Good afternoon. I am Penny Foskey. Thank you guys so much for coming and being with us today. My first speaker is a little delayed, so I'm going to ask if Miss Dania would come and share her testimony with you. So we're going to change it up a little bit, okay? That's the way it is in recovery. You just have to roll with it.
My name is Dania Smith. I am a person in long-term recovery, and what that means to me is that I've been free from any mind-altering substances for 2 years. Recovery has afforded me a better way of life. I now have a peace of mind. I have a strong network with friends that are also sober. That's something that I've never had. I have the ability to help other women. Okay, so I started using opiates when I was about 15 years old. It began with doctors prescribing me pain pills, and that didn't take long before I was addicted. Then I needed more and more till they weren't working at all. That's when I became an IV heroin user. This went on for years and years. I overdosed 3 times, nearly dying each time. That wasn't even enough to make me stop. I knew I needed to get some help, but I was scared. I was scared to go through the withdrawals. I was scared, just scared. I stayed in and out of jail, I think 7 different times. The last time in jail, God did for me what I could not do for myself. I was in jail this time with no bond, and the judge he kept denying my bond every time I went to court. I reached out to the first rehab that I could find, and they accepted me. Weeks and weeks went by, but never heard anything from them. Something told me to call Angels in Flight. They accepted me, and within a week, I was there. I know that was nothing but God, since the other rehab did not ever show up. At this point, I was just glad to be out of jail. I didn't realize how much my life was going to change. I started going to groups, classes, and meetings, and decided I want this, and I was going to do whatever it took to change. I gained my birth certificate, social security card. I even got my license back, and I got my first job ever. I had never worked anywhere. One day I got a letter in the mail saying that all of my charges that were pending had been dropped. Again, nothing but God. Decided that I was going to stay at Angels in Flight, even though, so let me back up. I decided that I was going to stay at Angels in Flight. Everything was going great, and I wasn't going to take any chances. It was time for me to graduate, but I wasn't ready to leave. I just knew that if I left and didn't have everything in order, that I didn't want to end up back where I was before. So I continued the program, and I helped Miss Penny out any way I could. Everything, I helped at the office. I had expressed many times to her that I would love to work at Angels in Flight. So I continued my job outside of Angels in Flight. I worked for almost a year. Finally, one day, I just told Miss Penny, I'm going to leave. I'm going to quit my job and volunteer for you full time. That's how bad I wanted to be a part of Angels in Flight. Shortly after, I became a full-time employee, and I absolutely love my job. Now, I recently moved into my own house. Things are going great. I have my own car, my own house. I'm paying bills. I'm being independent. And I love the feeling of that. Now I get to share my experiences, strengths, and hope with others and give back to a program that gave so much to me.
Thank you, Dania. She has been a godsend. It's like God intuitively gave her the knowledge of how to help me. And when I tell you she helps me, she is like my right arm. And that I'm grateful for. And I'm not planning on stepping down anytime soon. But Dania, I am training to be my replacement when that does come, because she has every quality that a director would need. And so thank God for Dania. And I don't know if she told you, if y'all heard the part that she had never earned a paycheck, ever earned a paycheck until she came to Angels in Flight. Never. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dania, for sharing that testimony. If you've never had the privilege of meeting Dania, she is a superstar, and I do mean that. You got a question about where something is or how to do something, ask Dania. We need help making ends meet. We need an idea, ask Dania. So that's just the answer to everything. Ask Daniel.
Hi, I'm Dr. Dustin Gay. I'm a local orthopedic surgeon with Houston Clinic Orthopedics, and we'd really like to invite everybody to come out to our new office facility to take a look at it. It's a larger space with physical therapy, and we're just excited to have it, and we'd love for people to come out and visit us.
Come by and see us today at our brand new location, the Houston Clinic, Medical Drive in Dublin. Ep Lake and the staff at Lakes Alignment has been serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1954, offering you the best in suspension, alignment, and tire services. And now Ep and Lisa Lake are proud to announce the addition of Neil Harden and our 24-hour truck, trailer, and tire repair facility with state-of-the-art equipment. Lake's Tire Facility is conveniently located to I-16 and all roads throughout Middle Georgia. Call on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for truck, trailer, and tire repair. Call 272-4230, serving the Southeast for over 65 years. Lakes Alignment, and now 24-hour truck, trailer, and tire repair.
And without further ado, if you would please pay attention and give all your focus to Miss Angie. And I can't tell you how much it means to me to have Angie here with us today. Her father passed away this past week. He'll be buried tomorrow, but it was so important for her and her son's story to be told that she was not going to miss this opportunity. And I cannot tell you how much courage that takes to do this and how selfless she is to come and to give in such a time as this. And if you guys could keep her in your prayers and her family, they really need them. Thank you, Miss Angie.
I'm very honored to have been asked to speak here, Angels in Flight, and by Penny. It is an honor to be able to share my son's story. But I kind of questioned myself. This video and my presentation is for middle schoolers, high schoolers, and rehabs. And I said, God, why do you want me to share Jeremy's story to this audience? It's a different audience. And he said, it's not about you, it's about me. So go where I send you. And yesterday I met a lady, and I knew why I was here. She goes through the same struggles, so God showed me why I was here. My name's Angie Pittman. I'm a retired special agent in charge of Georgia Department of Corrections, and I now work at Johnson Sheriff's Department out here. And I say that to say addiction can affect each and every one of us. It don't matter who you are or where you come from. It can affect you. With that said, I'm going to introduce you to my son, Jeremy. He'll be forever 23. Jeremy's story is like every other one. He was raised in a church. He never missed a Sunday or a Wednesday. He played in the praise band at the age of 4 until he was 14. He was talented. He could play any instrument that he picked up at the age of 4. But his depression, which came from somewhere, I have no idea where, like many other people that become addicted, started at an early age at 14, and that's where he started his first drug. But with that said, let me introduce you to my son, Jeremy Pittman. Now you see why I said, why this audience, Lord, but angels in flight, ladies, this is reality. You're here, and you don't have to end up like my son Jeremy. So that's the reason I'm here. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about Jeremy's ending. Jeremy wasn't a normal young man. He was very intelligent. A lot of addiction comes with intelligence. Addiction doesn't affect the ones you think it affects. These people are so smart and brilliant. Jeremy used to say, Mom, it's because my brain doesn't shut down. His brain was constantly thinking. He self-medicated. He wanted his brain to shut down. He got addicted. He moved to Florida. He was introduced to heroin. When heroin gets you, it don't want to let you go. He come back home. I would send him to rehab. His dream finally come true. He went back to Tampa, and a production agency brought him in, and she fell in love with Jeremy, and he made a CD, and he's got 10 songs. He played every instrument. He wrote every song. He sang every song. But it's no song that I want to play for you guys because heroin was involved. I'm going to tell you how my son ended his life. These attempts you saw in the video was just attempts. He had died many times, like most people that's addicted. Their heart stops and people bring them back to life. Everybody thinks they know what they would do if their son or daughter was addicted. You would think I would know because I'm in law enforcement. But this mom was blinded by love. Not my son. Not the son that I raised in church, that knew the Lord, that got saved, that got baptized. Not my son. Addiction don't care who you are. They don't care where you come from. That demon is after our children. Everybody says you got to put him out there. Send him on his way. Try to do that to your son or daughter. I've finally done it. At the age of 23, I said, go. Get out of my house. It was too late. He couldn't handle being away from his mom. I got a call one night, and he said, Jeremy's in a bad way. I said, okay. So I was scared he was going to hurt somebody because he was high on meth this particular night. I said, I don't want my son to hurt himself, and I definitely don't want him to hurt someone else. I made that call because I know people. I said, Sheriff, go get my son. Go lock him up. If you hadn't ever locked your own child up, it's very difficult. So he went to jail and he called me. I'm sorry. The last words I told my son was, shut the hell up. Don't let that be you. He hung up. And he went and hung himself in the jail. I'm telling you, you love your children no matter what, and I did. There's no answers. We don't have a book of instructions for addiction. All I can tell you is love your loved one. Be there for them. Never let them go. And always let the last words be, I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Angie. this is what we're trying to recourse. I just wish that had happened for your son. We also have lost those that has come through our program. Last year, we went to Alabama to a funeral of one. She had been with us for almost 6 months. She had 6 weeks left. She wanted to go home, and her brother was going to let her come back home. So we let her go on a pass because she had been on none. She snuck out that night. She overdosed by Sunday. Found her another program to go to. COVID had hit that program. That program couldn't take her in. And then before another week had passed, she had overdosed again in a car with people that they drove her around for hours before carrying her to the hospital and dropping her body off. Another one couldn't wait to get her car. She couldn't wait to get her cell phone. She left us at 3 months, went to another program. She made it 28 days. She died in a car accident where she was under the influence, passing another vehicle. We had another young lady who also, all of these are in the same year, that overdosed in a program. I had discharged her from ours, helped her find another program, and she overdosed and died from heroin in that program. We've been open since 2012, and I know of about 20 individuals that has not made it, that has came through our program. A lot of them hasn't stayed the course. A lot of them didn't complete the program. They didn't graduate the program. And this is what we're up against. We're in the battle for the lives. My cousin Brenda says I'm snatching them out of hell's fire. Well, if that's what y'all want to accuse me of, then so be it. But I just thank God that we do get the opportunity to try to recourse this through education, advocacy. They come to us from many avenues, avenues, period, through court systems, detox centers, just because they want it, or sometimes just because their family wants it. And people says, well, what is your success rate? And I say, well, what do you want me to tell you? How many of them we've kept sober 24 hours? How many we've kept sober for 6 months? How many we've kept sober for a year? How many has made it multiple years? You want me to tell you about how many seed we have planted for Jesus Christ? That's our goal, is to plant the seed for the big harvest. We get them to the environment, we get them what they need. It's up to them to pick it up and to use it. And so, Angie, thank you for coming today.
Spring has sprung here at Dublin Chevy Nissan in Dublin, Georgia. Our inventory is blooming with new Pathfinders, Frontiers, Yukons, and Tahoes. And with spring break coming up, there's never a better time to come into our award-winning service department for a checkup. And remember, Doug sells service well. With that spring trip coming up, there's never a better time to find a new or pre-owned SUV. If you see an HD or a Tahoe on our lot or online, don't wait, or you'll miss out. Hurry in to Dublin Chevy Nissan.
Hi, I'm Kyle Gerard, A+ Flooring and Construction. We can build you any new structure from the ground up, just like we're building a brand new showroom here that's going to open up in March. So give us a call, 478-676-2662.
And then I'm going to turn this over to Richard Scott, who I don't know what I would do without.
Angie, I got the tough job of following you. When you lose a child, there is a hole in your heart. It never gets filled with anything. There is nothing you can fill that hole with. My wife and I lost a 36-year-old daughter hooked on painkillers. And that hole is still there, and it won't go away. But you're doing the right thing in witnessing. I had a couple of pictures up here, but you're going to have a hard time seeing. But we do have some drawings of some dreams that Penny has, and we're trying to expand on. And we're hoping we have someone who's working on the possibility of helping us out some way on a metal building and going that direction. The first step that we would do beyond this carport would be to build a dorm, a small dorm, an independent building that would house 12 young ladies. And we have to get in the financial position to where we can have enough to mortgage the rest of it, I guess I'd say. So we need 20% of that. We don't know what that 20% is yet, but we have plans to keep going. Board members. We need board members. Let me tell you how I came on board to this, how I staggered onto this. And I don't believe in that because I don't think there's anything by luck. I do not believe in the word luck at all. I used to teach college in Indiana, and I met a young man in one of my classes, and he and I kind of got close friends for a while. Well, we moved to Atlanta. He was still going to school. I don't know whether it was 3, 4, 5 years later, he walked into the church that we were going to. So we got reunited again. You know, you don't need to know where I always moved, but we moved to Texas and left him in Atlanta. And then we moved to Dublin, Georgia. And he called me one day in Dublin. He tracked me down and he called me. And he said, "Richard, what are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I'm just retired sitting around." And he said, "No, I know you don't ever sit around." So he told me about Angels in Flight. And he said, and the reason he was hooked up with it is his wife was doing counseling there. And so he told me, he said, "I know how you could help them. Do you mind if I have Penny to call you?" That's how I've been working with him for 3 years. And all of that wasn't by chance. My wife and I have moved around, like I said, 2 or 3 places. Everywhere we go, we pray for a ministry for ourselves. And it may not, this was surprising because it really wasn't necessarily through a church. Before, it's always been through a church some way. This time, it was for Angels in Flight. So that was how we got there. Don't ever miss an opportunity, okay? God may be calling you to be on our board. We need board members. Please, we need male board members. Please. Please. Now, Jeanette says, now I'm begging, okay? Yeah, so we really need, but think of what you can do. If you can donate your time for anything, you call. Penny will put you to work somewhere. We're always having things to do. I know that Scott back here, he and I worked on building cabinets this week, some storage cabinets. We could have had help, right, Scott? And we're going to work on them this next week, too. But we're always doing something like that we need help. And board members, if you're interested in serving on a board, please call Penny, contact her, and talk to her because we need board. Don't think that you don't have any talents or skills or whatever, because we need so many in so many areas that we need you, okay? So call. We're not going to take a ton of your time. Well, I don't know about that. We'll take as much of your time as you'll give us, but we won't require hours and hours and hours. This event was big. People got involved. The angels over here that we're serving, they did a absolutely fantastic job. There's some of them sitting back here in the back. And let me tell you, they'll give you a rough time, but they're fun to be around. They're all big teases, and they're fun to be around. One of them walked up to me a while ago, and they said, "Is this a church you pastor?" I said, "I'm not a pastor." And I've had three people tell me that today, so I don't know how I got that look or whatever. But I'm not a pastor. I'm just a lay minister, I would call it, and that's where I wound up. Churches. I would guess that almost everybody in here is a church member, or you probably wouldn't be here, okay? It'd be interesting if we some way wrote down how many churches were represented here. That would be really interesting. We have a group back here in the back of, Tony, how many do you have here today? A bunch. I think you have 3 tables, don't you? Okay. That's all from one church, and they've been giving and helping us a lot. But we need churches, and you have a card, a colored card on your table. If you could represent a church here today, and you think that your church would be interested in helping us in some way, then write on that card your name, the church's name, and a contact. If you're the contact, fine. We will contact you. Leave those at the front desk here when you go out. But I'd like to see 20 of those. That'd be fantastic if we had churches. We'll find things for you to do. And you'll get as big a blessing out of them. You can't outgive them. You just can't do it because the blessings are there.
Dr. Avery and Dr. Chuckapella are glad to announce the opening of Central Georgia Primary Care right next to Paul's Tire at 230 Industrial Boulevard. At Central Georgia Primary Care, we offer highly skilled physicians with compassionate, personalized care focused on each individual patient as our top priority every single day. Our physicians have devoted a lifetime of excellence in healthcare. It's Central Georgia Primary Care, bringing state-of-the-art healthcare right here at home.
Allen's Heating and Cooling is your licensed Amana equipment dealer. Trust Allen's Heating and Cooling to install and service your heating and cooling unit. Allen services all brands, and with the purchase of a new Amana, offers a lifetime compressor warranty. Call Sean Clark or any of his friendly staff at Allen's Heating and Cooling, your Amana dealer. Amana lasts and lasts and lasts.
Okay, without further ado, I'm going to introduce our next speaker, and this is Jessica Swillings. And Jessica is from Germany originally, and she will tell you her story. But I've known Jessica for a little over almost 3 years. That's what I thought. I didn't want to make a mistake. So without further ado, I'm going to let Jessica share with you what God's done in her life.
My name is Jessica Swillings, and I'm Angel 104. And I'm also a grateful recovering addict. And what that means for me is that it's been over 2 years since I felt the need to use substances to cope with life, depression, and PTSD. Today, I am a whole woman. I am a healed woman. A woman still healing, but in healthier ways. I'm a mother. I inspire others to make changes in their lives. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an advocate. I am a better version of me. I was born and raised in Germany. I'm a proud Army brat. I was raised in a faithful home. My mother lived and breathed the word. Even in that, I experienced molestation, rape, emotional, physical, and verbal abuse. And I didn't have a voice. I've been singing since I was 2 years old, and I even told my mother of an experience I had as a child when an angel came to me and told me that I would be a singer for the advancement of God's kingdom. I did and was who I thought everyone wanted me to be. At 14, I had my first drink of alcohol. At 18, I smoked marijuana, and I just knew nothing harder would ever touch my system. I became a mother at 20 years old to Zion, who is now 15 and so much taller than me, y'all. Like, he's huge. And then I started rebelling. I was in a same-sex relationship for over 6 years. My mother didn't abandon me, but I felt the difference in our relationship. In 2010, I moved to the States for the first time, and I tried this adulting thing away from people I felt were trying to control me with the Bible, including my mother. I've recorded music, I've been in a band, I've written for other artists, and drugs and alcohol are a staple in the music community. 2012, my mother passed. And I was on my way back home to Germany to help her. I was living in Texas at the time. But I told her, I said, give me to the end of this month, and I'll be there. It was supposed to be the end of June 2012. June 1st, my mother passed. I felt guilty, like I was selfish for not being there. And while I wasn't proud of it, there was more alcohol in my refrigerator than food. And with a young child, even in my grief, I was like, this is not it. In 2013, I moved to Atlanta to pursue music on another level. And I have a fear of failure, which sometimes translates to a fear of success because you get in your own way. I began to people please and let the wrong people in my home and in my life. At 28 years old, I tried crack cocaine for the first time. And for the longest time, I didn't know how it was getting me high, but I kept using because for the first time, nothing bothered me. I didn't feel anything. I wasn't afraid. I didn't feel like people were judging me. I didn't care if they judged me. I was numb to emotional pain and thoughts and expectations of others. And that's where my spiral downward started. I went to jail a number of times for shoplifting with a bank account full of money. I lost my apartment and started living in hotels with my only child at the time. And there was nothing that I wouldn't do, and I mean nothing that I would not do to support my habit. But it was because I knew how to speak to people, and I'm good company. So I wasn't like everyone else, and I was unique, and my company was what was wanted and not my body. And that's one of the many lies that addiction tells us. We're special. We're unique in what we're doing. We're different. And God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. And a longtime friend in Sandersville came and got me and my oldest son for Thanksgiving in 2015. And when it was time to come back, her car broke down. So I had no choice but to start over somewhere where I didn't know anybody. While I used less, it caused problems in the household, so I was asked to leave. I actually started not using, but I had no recovery tools, and God was definitely not in the details. In 2017, I found out I was pregnant, and it rocked me to my core. How was I going to raise 2 children alone? Because I already knew that I was going to remain a single mom at that point. I knew what I had done to provide for one child while hiding an addiction, and I began to use cocaine again, 7 times harder while pregnant. When you get rid of one demon, what do we say? It comes back 7 times, right? Right. So it got worse. Using while I was pregnant is not something that I'm proud of. But in my sickness, I hoped that the pregnancy would terminate. And I had agreed to an open adoption that I didn't really want. My doctor, who was in Milledgeville, was the first female doctor to work with mothers that were addicted to drugs. I was able to stop using for a short period of time. Then the devil came knocking on my door, and I used one more time. My water broke, and I went into labor 10 days before my due date with cocaine in my system and in my baby's system. So what does that mean? DFACS is involved in my life. The nurses at the hospital told them that I didn't act like a mother that didn't want her baby. I had had a C-section, and I was discharged, and I was able to go home. But I went home to shower, I packed a blanket, and I sat in that waiting room at the hospital and fed my baby, whose name is Corey. We call him Chance, because God gave me another chance with my son. And I fed him every 2 hours until the hospital had to tell me that I couldn't see him unsupervised anymore. Further on down in the case, the director of DFACS, Miss Olivette Long, asked me to my face, she said, "Do you want your baby?" And I broke down and I cried, yes, I want my baby. I did enough to get my children home in December of 2019, and in May 2018, and in May of 2019, at the end of my case, My case was about to close. I failed a drug screen. Because in that time, one of my caseworkers gave me the worst piece of advice. Fake it till you make it. Recovery is not something that you can fake. We can faith it, use faith to get through it, but faking it is not going to do anything but end us right back where we started, and even worse. May 29th, my children were gone again. What had I done? I knew I needed more help, and I started Googling treatment centers when my bed at River Edge in Macon went to someone in crisis. I knew nothing of Wrightsville, but I knew that it was close to Sandersville. So I called Angels in Flight on June 8th, 2019, and Miss Penny answered the phone. I remember that conversation. I remember her voice on the phone, just like it was yesterday. And she told me to call back Monday, and I was determined to fix my life, so I called back Monday. And I feel like she was trying to test me to see if I really was coming. And that's when I started looking at life like it's a test I had to pass. Anything that I had to do, Jessica, this is a test. Are you going to pass it, or are you going to have to keep doing it? Thank you for that, Miss Penny. I came to Angels in Flight June 10th, 2019, and was asked, "You've got some want to for the first time in a long time, huh?" And because I was sober and I was feeling everything, I was a big crybaby, still am, and I'm okay with that. And I said yes. I was given tools, biblical principles, education on this disease called addiction. I was able to visit with my kids. I worked. I got an apartment a month before I finished my program. And while I was responsible for paying for my treatment, what I received was priceless. Being broken is one thing, but being broken and rebuilding with God as the glue to the pieces, that's indescribable. And it's the best gift. Today I get to stand beside women at Angels in Flight as they rebuild their lives. I get to support the choice to change for better. I get to be a testimony of God leaving the 99 and coming back for the one. I was that one. I was that one sheep that God said, "Hey, I want her. Come here." My children are home. My family is complete. DFAX has no role in my life other than maybe some food stamps, honey. My children love me. They forgive me. They value me. But most importantly, I value myself. I'm a case manager. I'm a sponsor. I'm a future author and a vessel for God's use. And I'm a walking miracle today. I'm an asset. I'm Jessica 2.0, and the best is yet to come.
When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express, where you'll always find friendly, courteous service every time you visit us. Fill up with Pay at the Pump. Take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Enjoy our popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. And you can always enjoy a fresh hot breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So stop by and see us today, where it's always convenient and friendly. Neighbors Express, locations at I-16 at 441 and in Cedar Grove, where we provide farm fuel for all our customers. When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express.
From humble beginnings with a desire to serve the Dudley community, Bank of Dudley has grown to 5 locations, serving Lawrence, Twiggs, and surrounding counties. Serving our community since 1905, the Bank of Dudley is looking forward to its 2nd century of community banking. Drop in today to any of our 5 locations: Jeffersonville, Dudley, East Dublin, Veterans Boulevard, and downtown Dublin. Bank of Dudley, member FDIC, and an equal housing lender.
All right, if I go too fast, I'm already starting off fast. Okay. If I go too fast, y'all let me know and I'll slow it down. But y'all look beautiful and fancy, and I just love it, okay? So, my name is Christina Baker. I'm from East Bend, Georgia. I'm in long-term recovery, and I live my recovery out loud so that others know recovery is possible. And I was in addiction for 19 years, and I was at the lowest of low, doing the worst of the worst. I mean, nothing. I mean, it was awful, y'all. It was awful. I lost everything I loved, my family, my girls. I mean, I had it made, you know, and it was all destroyed and went downhill because of addiction. Let's see. I really felt like I was trapped in the streets. I wanted to be better so bad. Like, I wanted to do better, and I wanted to be that amazing person, you know, the one that, you know, stays in church, the one that's there for their family, you know, the best daughter and all. But I just couldn't. I couldn't get out of the streets long enough to do it, and I felt like it was about to drag me to my death. Well, it all started when I was 9 years old. I was 9, and someone that I looked up to, someone that I loved, was in my life, and that's when I first experienced crack cocaine. Yes, I was 9. 9, 10, it don't matter. It can happen to anybody. And it was somebody I looked up to, so of course, the way it was put to my face, you know, I just wanted to, you know, be like her, you know, and that's what she did, so that's what I did. You know, I mean, and so I go, you know, on the weekends, during the weekdays, I mean, numerous times. It wasn't a one-time thing. It was numerous times. And, I mean, you know, there's a 9-year-old little child, you know, doing crack. You know what I'm saying? I mean, usually they're playing on the playground or they're playing ball outside, but that wasn't me at all. Not at all. I mean, I would attend school, and, you know, what's bad is my family, my mom and them, they had no idea. Any of y'all, would y'all look at y'all's child at that young and think, have that cross, you know, that wouldn't even cross your mind. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something, you know, I thought about going and telling them, you know, I mean, it's nothing, I mean, it's unreal to me, still, to this day. And I'd be in school, and I was not passing a lot of stuff. You know, of course, I wasn't doing great in school, and I just wasn't all in there, you know. And I mean, so it's in the school system, you know. Don't look at it and think, oh, you know, no, this child, no, it's everywhere. They can be young. I mean, young as 9, you know. It got to the point where me being young like I was, I didn't even look at myself, and, you know, I just, how do I put it? I didn't look at myself when I was young and look at myself as an addict. I didn't even realize what it had done to me. I mean, you're so young, you don't realize you're even in addiction, you know, until I got older, because everything got so much worse. It was a habit that was in my life, and that was something as I got older, I felt like I could depend on. You know, anytime problems come, I depended on it. I fell back on it. Anytime I had a problem, I fell back on it. You know, it was something that I could always go to, and it helped me feel better and helped me go through everyday life struggles. Let's see. I would get to the point that I would do anything that was given to me. I ended up being an IV user, and I got 2 beautiful girls, and I love them more than anything in the world. I wouldn't take nothing for them, and it had nothing to do with my love for them. I had just been in an addiction so long that I just felt trapped, and it's not like I could just jump and escape it without the proper help that I need. I couldn't just escape it and say, you know, it wasn't something I could just escape that easily like I wanted to. And it's like I said in the beginning, I wanted to so bad. And the pain that I was that person when I had 2 beautiful girls and a family, the pain that I had in my heart, you know, instead of being that strong and standing up and be like, you know what, I got this, that I didn't have the tools, I didn't have God, I didn't have what I needed, so instead I fell back. And when I fell back, that last time I fell and hit hard. I mean, I hit hard because it was like, you know, I was just so ashamed to look in the mirror at myself. I just couldn't even stand the thought of my face being in the mirror. It just disgusted me. It's just unreal. You know, I didn't think I could take away that feeling for nothing in the world. So, my mom, my family knew what shape I was in, and one day I was at her house and she was out of town. I went to her house and I went in her window because her door was locked, okay, and I needed a shower. So I went through her window, you know. I mean, didn't call and say, hey, Mom, you know, you got the key to the door somewhere? No, I thought, let's do this bright idea. Let's crawl through the window at apartments in Eastman where there's neighbors everywhere. I mean, that don't look suspicious in the daytime, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, I don't know what smart idea I had, but I sure went in that window. And, of course, the neighbors called, you know, and probably like, there's somebody going in your window. You know, they're freaking out. So they called my mom. My mama already knew. Because I was about the only one out of my family that was in the shape I said I was in. I was the only crazy one to do something like that. You know, skinny white girl in your window. You know what I'm saying? So, I went in there. Mama got the law involved. She called the law because she knew what kind of shape I was in. She knew that I was near death. I mean, any day now. She knew she had to do something. So what she did was she had me arrested, and they charged me with burglary. And I went to jail. So, you know, I'm in jail, and I'm just freaking out. You know, Mama, I was so mad. I mean, I was so upset. And at the time, I did not realize what she was doing. It was so upsetting to me. I thought she turned her back on me. She put me in here. You know, I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. So Mama, my mother, my wonderful mother, found Angels in Flight and got me an application, got me filled out. And Miss Penny, they got me in immediately. I mean, immediately. And I was so nervous, but I knew I had no choice. I mean, I had to do what I had to do because, I was on my last legs. It was awful. My girls wanted their mother. I've ruined everything. My family was almost done with me, you know, and it was rough. So, August 13, 2021 is when my day I arrived to Angels in Flight. Oh, I ain't been holding it to my mouth. I'm sorry, y'all. Danny actually come and picked me up, and I arrived at the wonderful place, and at first I was nervous, you know, but the support system that's there is so amazing and so welcoming. You're immediately, it's family. You know, right off the rip, we're immediately family. We attend groups, meetings, Bible study. Everything. We have God in that facility. You know, you ain't gonna go to Angels Flight and not understand who God is and what He does for you in your life. I received the education and tools I needed to begin and stay in my recovery that I'm in right now. I gained a job. I gained a wonderful job, and I just gained another wonderful job. I had a good job, but I just swapped that job, went to an interview, and got a better job last week. Yes, I did. So, that's a blessing after blessing. And then my relationship with my girls, I'm finally getting, you know, they know their mama. My little girl told me, she said, you know, Mama, she said, she tells me how much she loves me and how much, you know, how I'm perfect in her eyes, you know, and I can't take nothing for that. So the fact that they look at me and know I'm still their mother and that I'm trying my best, you know, it means everything to me. So from this day forward, of course, I'm going to make sure she sees me trying to turn, you know, to fix everything and do everything that I need to do. So I got my relationship back with my family. Let's see. God, of course, I've got a relationship with God now because I know without Him, nothing would have been possible at all. You know, you can't, nothing, not one thing. You're just in the dark without His light in your life, you know. So, of course, with Him, because, of course, you know, in His eyes, I'm one of the miracles that He pulled me out of, you know. I am. And so right now I can finally look at myself in the mirror and I know who I am. I love who I am. I have found myself. I have discovered that I'm amazing, and I love Angels in Flight. I love what they've done for me and what they've done for the girls, and I just hope y'all have a wonderful day, and thank you.
They let the old woman come toward the end. Save the best for the last. I have been on the board the longest, and every time I think about hanging it up, I just simply cannot do it because I am so impacted in such a positive way by serving on this board. I think about the time that Christ told Peter to feed my sheep. And he told Peter that 3 times. If we could actually read that in Greek, we would know that Jesus is not saying the exact same thing all 3 times. He's directing Peter to feed his sheep in different ways. And this is what I see at Angels in Flight. The care given to them are on all sorts of levels. It is not put a Band-Aid on, spend 3 weeks with us, and off you go. Our angels work. It's not a handout. It is a hand up. I know that's a trite saying, but they get jobs, they work, they develop a better feel, more self-confidence. They are taught how to better handle their finances. They are taught to make better decisions in their lives. But it is always with the foundation of a godly life. And that is why Angels in Flight is so much more successful than you will find in some situations. These people, these women are blessed with the Elizabeth Wolfs over there, blessed with the Carolyn Price, impacting these people in such a wonderful way. We thank you for spending the afternoon with us. We thank you for helping feed the sheep. We are in dire need of a building program so that we can better meet the needs of the sheep. So anyway, God lays it on your heart to reach out and touch this program, I pray that you will do so. And you're already doing so by your being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
We believe that the customer chooses to buy insurance from people that they trust and that they know. More importantly, that they know that they will take care of them when something happens. The thing that has helped us grow the most as an agency is without a doubt the people. It's the people inside this agency that are the heartbeat. It's the team at Curry Maffitt that forges a relationship with each and every customer that walks in our door. So I would like to reach out and say thank you. Thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for everything you do for this agency. But most importantly, thank you for everything you do for our customers. When I say Curry Maffitt is an agency unlike any other, it's an experience that we're trying to create for the customer that makes buying insurance one of the easiest things that they will ever do. When you have a problem, you need to know that we will be there for you, but you also need to know that we will respond to you. If you're looking for a more hands-on approach to your insurance needs, stop by and experience what we mean when we say we're an agency unlike any other.
Curry Maffitt Insurance, downtown Dublin.